Hey everyone, it's Bill from Crooked Acres. Welcome back to the homestead. So, if you can see the sun in the video, I'm not sure. It's late October here in Western New York, and it's going to be nearly 70 degrees today. You don't get this very often. This is beautiful. So, I'm in a t-shirt today. I got shorts on. We're out here just doing our year-end wrap-up. We're getting our weed fabric off our gardens, getting the rest of the plants pulled. Took care of our turkeys this morning. With them in the layers, that's all we really have left here on the homestead, animal-wise. So we're going to work on that stuff today. We're going to go ahead and hopefully get the vast majority of that wrapped up. But it seems like every year, or at least the last few years that we've been doing this, around this time I start, kind of thinking back to how we did this year, what we want to do for the next years, and I'll have a video coming out on that soon with our future plan. I think you may be interested in, but this year was a success. I mean, we put a ton of meat in the freezer. We sold some meat to try and offset some costs. Our gardens went really, really well. So what I'm going to do with this video is I'm going to take you back all the way to February of this year when we first start with our seedlings, and run you right through the current date. And I'll for those that don't watch all the videos, I'll give you a little quick recap as to how we did this year and how everything went. I hope you enjoy it. We start most of our seeds inside due to our climate here in Western New York. Usually start end of February through March, growing them under our grow lights. Things grow fast, and it wasn't long before we had outgrown our grow light shelves in our little room and started to lay things out on the kitchen table and on a table set up in the family room. Most of the house becomes a giant growing room at this time of the year. We had a little over 200 cups this year with our seedlings. With that amount of plants, we really needed to upgrade our garden space. That led us to a huge garden expansion. Our first harvest of the year was strawberries. Our plants were heavy producers this year, and we picked and picked and picked and picked, it seemed like. By the end of May, the weather had now allowed us to begin our plantings outside, and boy did we plant. By late July, the vegetable garden had really begun to take off. We were harvesting more and more each day. And along with the harvesting came what seemed like never-ending processing and processing and more processing. The first animals to join our homestead this early spring were our piglets, which I affectionately called the Bacon Brothers. As our piglets started settling into their brand new home, we began to prepare for our first batch of meat birds, 100 Cornish cross chicks. Along with our meat birds, we also added 6 new layers to our flock this year. Summer happens fast, and it didn't take long for the pigs to grow and grow and grow and enjoy some of that summer heat, or not enjoy it, I'm not really sure. But the Bacon Brothers weren't the only things growing on the homestead. Our first batch of Cornish cross chickens had continued to grow and were now ready for processing. Our first batch of meat birds was a great success and yielded over 450 pounds of chicken. By the middle of July, we were ready to add another animal to our homestead, 12 turkeys. It wasn't long before the turkeys found themselves outside in their new home, as we needed the brooder for, you guessed it, another batch of Cornish cross chicks on their way. Another 100 to be exact. As these chicks continued to grow, it was time to say goodbye to the Bacon brothers. Once processed, the Bacon brothers provided our family with enough pork for the upcoming year. It wasn't too long after we got the pork back from the processor that our second batch of Cornish cross chickens were ready to go. These ones we had about a week longer than the first batch, and they turned out wonderfully. Well, that only leaves one animal left there on the homestead, and that's our 12 turkeys. As you can see, they have grown considerably. At first, they were a little hesitant to exit the pen once we had opened the door so they could hit their free-range pasture. But once they figured it out, they couldn't wait to run out the door. And how could we forget our 2 barn cats? Alright, so I hope you enjoyed our little recap video for the year. I know it's not quite the end of the year yet, but things are starting to wind down for us here. The only thing we have left to do is to send these guys to processing yet, more towards Thanksgiving. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please hit the like button. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Share this video with friends, family, whoever you think would be into this sort of stuff, and we'll catch you on the next one. Take it easy.